So, I've been told by people who are totally not PragerU stands that want Daddy Dennis to unload his Judeo-Christian values all over their faces that I am the big hater of Denny and the PragerU crew. And they can tell because I totally sound so much more ambiguously mad or salty or whatever feeling they are projecting onto me for making fun of Senpai. No, PragerU might have some amazingly stupid videos, especially when it comes to religious stuff, but their videos are at least attempting to be coherent. You want to see me mad? Go watch my spirit science videos. That shit is infuriating. Anyway, what has they got for me today?
When was the last time you heard a child referred to as...
Damn it, what is it with PragerU and kids? You know what, I do know what it is. It's the simple fact of get them while they're young and stupid, and make sure they become older and stupider than that. That's how they create more PragerU fans. Very clever, but in like a dumb way. But anyway, let's guess. When was the last time I heard of a child referred to as a fridge? I know, right? They almost never have chilled beverages stashed inside them. I mean, what's even the point?
Obedient. It's probably been a while.
Oh, of course, obedient, that makes sense, since, the stupid. I mean, who would possibly want a child that can think for themselves, make actual decisions, or, be happy? No, you want to have little robots that only do what they are told without question. Especially if doing what they are told involves cleaning the entire house top to bottom whilst getting you a beer and filing your taxes. Isn't that the dream? What does it matter if they leave you to rot in an old people's home because they resent the shit out of you once they've grown up? Who wants to die surrounded by a loving family anyway? Losers, that's who.
That's too bad, because the best research tells us that obedient children are happy children.
The best research? What research? I've not heard that as even casual "this is good parenting 101. I have heard of it as a shitty way to parent, again turning your kids into little drone clones of yourself rather than their own distinct people. But who do you get this from? Well, I mean, here's your sources, and John Rosemond. Almost all of these are from some dude called John Rosemond. Who the f*** is John Rosemond?
And from my experience as a family psychologist...
Oh, it's you! You literally used yourself as the source of your claims. Well, isn't that just fantastic? So by the best research, what you mean is the things I believe tells me. I mean, for fuck's sake, you're not even a doctor apparently. Not even a fake shitty doctor in some unrelated field. Because we all know that you lot would have used the title if you could get away with it. Hell, I'm surprised you don't do it anyway and just correct your mistake afterward in some unrelated blog, so you can pretend you actually fixed it without having to fix it. But really, I should not be giving them ideas. Not because they'll do it, but because their heads might explode if anything extra enters their tiny little minds.
Parents of obedient children are happy parents.
Are they? Really? It's what you value as a parent, I guess. I value obedience in my dogs, mostly. In the lines of, don't eat off my plate and don't shit on the carpet. And probably when I call you outside, come to me, mostly so you don't get hit by trucks. But those are simple things that do have to be taught into pets that kind of way, because pets, and I'm going to really upset 4 people here, but pets aren't actually people. So you can't have the same expectations, and you have to teach them to be obedient to your will, otherwise some bad things can happen. Basically, I don't value obedience with my kids because they're people. That doesn't mean I don't want them to do as I say, but because I want them to do it understanding why and how it benefits them. And get this right, possibly even take some initiative, maybe even having better ideas than me, instead of relying on me to rule over them with an iron fist. That's for the adult humans who are, as we all know, less intelligent than all house pets and most plants.
Since all parents want their children to be happy, the question becomes, how does one get a child to obey?
Oh, right, okay, we've just leapt right on past your assertion that obedience equals happiness. Not gonna bother demonstrating that, are we? And go straight into how to get them to obey. And isn't that just a hilariously ironic word to use? Doesn't help that it's in all caps and more than likely was put in blue to try and avoid certain comparisons being made. Sneaky, but still, no.
Is there some trick to it?
Yes, you trick your children into doing as they are told. We all know this. It's done by offering them sweeties. And then, when they do what was asked, laughing at them as you eat all the sugary treats in front of their crying faces.
Well, there certainly are a lot of parents who think so. They believe that proper discipline is a matter of using the right methods, techniques, and strategies.
Parents think that parenting requires parenting? Well, that's obviously just completely insane claptrap. Parenting is all about buying a pre-made kid from the kid store and leaving all the messy stuff to your expensive live-in nanny, whilst secretly banging your tennis coach and doing all the prescription drugs you want because you have a prescription pad from your guy.
What I call consequence delivery systems.
What the fuck is that? I mean, I know it's supposed to be you, but that is just completely horrifying. Everything about it is just wrong on multiple levels. I think it's because the normal characters in this, and I say normal, are obviously just made, but he's clearly been traced or something. But with that big haunting smile, just makes it so unsettling, combined with the blueness of it. I don't know, man. All I can picture now is walking down a dark street, having that thing come out of the shadows, only to flit towards me and say, "Obey!"
Parents have been using these behavior modification-based methods since they became popular in the 1960s, seemingly to no avail.
Because, as we all know, all kids since the 60s have been completely monstrous nightmare children that have literally burned down the world. I mean, that's when Generation X was made, and they are just the worst. I mean, listen to their horrifying mantra.
You feel neither highs nor lows.
Really? What's it like?
Would anyone argue that today's kids are more obedient than kids were several generations ago?
No, but they might also argue that times are literally completely different than they were several generations ago. That there's less need to stop their education at 4 years old to send them down the mines in order that you can get just enough money so that only one of them has to die this Christmas. It's always the same with you lot. We don't do things the exact way we used to, therefore bad. Completely ignoring the fact that not doing it that way is usually better and actually makes any goddamn sense whatsoever.
I don't think so.
Wait, you flubbed the line. Too many unnecessary word.
I don't think.
That's better.
The reason these methods and techniques don't work is that proper discipline is not a matter of proper methods.
That doesn't make any sense. How could it be anything but? Surely, whatever you do, whatever thing or way or whatever, is the method you are using. No, this might sound pedantic, but if it's anything that could remotely be called a method, then this guy doesn't know how words work and, oh shit, this guy doesn't know how words work, does he?
It's a matter of a proper attitude on the part of the parent. Let me illustrate the point.
Okay, so apparently it's not a method, it's just an attitude. That means that you could say anything to them and you could tell them, I don't know, it's okay, I don't care if you clean your room, or smoke 500 cigarettes a day. I mean, I would prefer it if it was clean and you didn't do that. But meh. And as long as you have the right nebulous attitude, then they will behave the way you actually wanted. Can you see how I might think that maybe it's a bit more than that and possibly, oh, I don't know, some sort of method?
Let's say that for a week, I observed the classroom of a grade school teacher.
Let's say that you don't, because I don't trust you. And especially when you're in your blue monster form. I mean, look at it. Seriously, how many kids will be left over by the end of it? I'm guessing not a lot after you have f***ing eaten them all.
Who has the reputation of being the best disciplinarian in her district.
I feel like best disciplinarian in your district is not a real thing that anyone anywhere has ever judged. Also, it says absolutely nothing about her ability as a, and this is just a teensy bit important to the whole, her job thing, but it doesn't mean she's a good teacher. All the kids in my class do everything they are told to do 100% of the time, and they're a bunch of f***ing morons who are going to all go on to highly successful careers as street signs.
She consistently has fewer behavior problems than any of her colleagues. What is she doing?
All right, kids. Now, Teach has a hangover, so I'm going to need you to all be really good. And in exchange, I'm going to mark you all as A+ students, and more importantly, I'm going to put on a full marathon of everyone on Earth's favourite YouTuber. Enjoy! You little shits.
She's making her expectations perfectly clear, which means, first, she communicates in simple, declarative sentences.
Ah, of course. Because children are stupid. So the only way to talk to them is to say, hey kids, stop being so stupid. And when that doesn't work, well, it's time to start hitting them. But unfortunately for you, we here at the Sir Sick channel do not condone child violence. Unless it's been sanctioned by the Child Fighting League, and you can bet on it. F*** 'em up, Billy.
She doesn't use 50 words when she could use 10.
I mean, yeah, you could use a lot less words, but there's a point of diminishing returns, isn't there? I could say, hello, my name is Sir Sick, how do you do? With less words, but at some point it's just noises. Huh, sick, how do? I mean, that is how I talk when I'm really, really drunk, so as long as the teacher is similarly smashed, I guess I'll give it a pass.
The more words you use to communicate your expectations, the less confident you sound.
What heck you mean? Me am use load word. Me sound ver conf. You use no word. You sound big dumb. Like seriously, what the hell is this stunning gibberish? I mean, it's getting worse and worse the more he says, but he doesn't sound any less confident. Only more and more fucking stupid.
Second, she prefaces her instructions to her students with authoritative phrases like,
if you little f***ers don't do as I say, that thing in the corner there is going to go to your houses, kill your parents, using your pets as makeshift weapons, and is gonna make you watch. I'm not joking. Why do you think I let him stand there all this time? Certainly isn't for your benefit.
I want you to, and it's time for you to. She says,
yeah, let's take her to one of those last chance types of schools. I am sure that the kids there didn't get spoken down to enough. That's why they don't respect authority. I mean, treating them like human beings, that's never worked. Just like how prisons in America are so good at reforming people and have such low recidivism. And those stupid prisons in Norway that are considered the most humane in the world churn out literal supervillains on the other side. Also, John Rosemond is a respected psychologist and not a total dumbass.
it's time for you to take out your math books and turn to page 25, as opposed to, let's take out our math books and turn to page 25, okay?
Yeah, if I were a betting cosmic horror, I would guess that makes barely any difference at all. In fact, it's more likely going to depend entirely on how much the kids like the teacher as to how much they actually listen to them. That was my experience, and the type of teacher who thinks talking at the kids is the only way to get them to behave probably gets their houses toilet papered regularly. Just saying.
Third, this teacher does not explain the motives behind her instructions to her students.
Oh my god, this teacher f***ing sucks, don't they? Can you imagine a teacher, an educator, not educating the children on the reasoning behind the education? Dude, where did they find you? Seriously, were you just outside the Prager studio with a big sign that said, "Will psychology for food"? And now that I've said it out loud, that sounds far too plausible to ignore.
Why? Because she knows that explanations invite arguments.
Oh, come the hell on. That is the most absurd shit I've ever heard. What are we doing today, Teach? We're learning about the Egyptians. Why? 'Cause it's f***ing sick blood. Oh, alright. That's how that conversation goes, and not the other way. Seriously, I legitimately feel like I'm being trolled with this guy, and it is terrifying to know for a fact that I'm not.
Whenever parents tell me they're dealing with an argumentative child, I know that these well-intentioned people are explaining themselves.
Those King morons. This is where I knew without a shadow of a doubt that this guy is a total freaking jackass. Okay, I knew it earlier, but this is where my experience of reality and this false reality he is trying to will into being just completely and utterly don't match up, and it all falls apart. I explain shit to my kids all the time, and you know what they do when I do that? What I asked of them. It's almost like, and get this right, kids are people. And if you treat them as such, that's how they will act. I know, wild that completely baffling notion that it is.
They tell their child why they want him to pick up his toys, for example, and he argues, because you can always pick apart an explanation.
Only if you are so f***ing dumb that you can't make good explanations. And if your kids are smarter than you, I guess you'll always be stopped at just the one. And it will be the first and only thing that even comes into your head. Because you're an idiot, and I just realised why this is being said on a PragerU video. The people who take them seriously are almost certainly significantly dumber than their own offspring.
If you don't explain yourself when you give an instruction to a child, then the child, being a child, is almost surely going to ask for one. He's going to ask, why? Or why not?
Oh yeah, God forbid they try to understand your rationale, reasoning, and how the world works. No, you're right. That's dumb. We don't want our kids to be smart. We want them to be as dumb as humanly possible. Otherwise, how are we going to get them to believe in God?
At which point, get ready for a big surprise. Your answer should be, because I said so.
And there it is, probably the worst piece of parenting advice ever uttered on the entire internet. Well, short of, you should use PragerU for educational purposes. Well, unless you mean as an example, because even a bad example has value as something to avoid. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the